Happy Homebrew Wednesday. I got a little bit of beer mail from my brother. He sent me some beer from Thirsty Dog Brewing Company. This one's the 12 Dogs of Christmas Ale. So I'll pour this one out here and have a taste. Never had this beer before. He also sent me, for those of you that have actually been around since my first video, I started with a Brewer's Best Holiday Ale Kit, and that I talked a little bit about a beer that I really enjoyed when I was down in Cleveland, Ohio, and that was the Great Lakes Christmas Ale. He sent me some of those too, so thank you, Corey. Cheers, man. I had mentioned in my last Homebrew Wednesday about making a grain tea. So I just took 3 base grains. German Pilsner, some Maris Otter, and some Munich malt. So all I did was I took the grains, crushed them up in my blender, and heated up some water in a kettle. Got it to about 154-ish degrees. And so I dumped the heated water into each of the mason jars. And then I added the grains in with that water. I let it, basically I put the lids on loose and then let them sit there for, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, something like that, and came back, and then I took a strainer and strained off the grains and poured it into a second mason jar, which they are in now. So you got the German Pils, which is pretty light. Maris Otter, it's a little more golden. And the Munich looks maybe a little more hazy, and I guess, you know, kind of the color that you'd expect from a mass-produced American beer. Alright, well, so the German Pilsner is definitely lighter than the others. Actually almost does taste like a tea. It's very light. You got a nice malty, a light malty flavor, and it's definitely sweet. Kind of has a clean grain taste. I don't know. It's the best I guess I can explain it. Maris Otter, you know, just a nice pale, golden pale color, I guess. Now moving from the Pils to the Maris Otter, you get a little bit more malt. The grainy taste is just a little bit different. Where this is really kind of a light, almost, I don't know, I don't want to say refreshing, but it's kind of a light taste, and the Maris Otter is just got a little bit more to it. All right, and then finally I got the Munich tea. So the Munich definitely get more malt than the other two. It's just slightly darker than the Maris Otter. A little bit more hazy too, but I'm not the best beer reviewer. I'm just doing this to test to see how this is done, because I'd like to do this for my homebrew club. And I figured I'd share this with you guys, at least, you know, if this is something you guys want to try. I'm definitely going to be trying with some the specialty grains. You know, use some chocolate and some, you know, Crystal 80 and, you know, whatnot. So, so I'm probably going to do a specialty grain one too, just so that you can play with the different flavors of the specialty grains. Because these are just base grains, so you know, this is generally what you're going to be using in most of your beers. But anyway, so that was my little project. I know I talked about it. I don't want to keep this going on too long, but so I did the little thing. I did my research. I was able to find a way to do this, and it worked because I get the flavors out of there. I can taste the subtle differences in each one of them, and that's pretty cool because for somebody that's just pretty much starting out in all grain, I'm still kind of using other people's recipes or just putting my tweaks on other people's recipes, and it really helps me get an understanding of why I want this in my beer, you know. And going to the specialty grains, I think that's really going to help because now I can see, you know, why I would put a certain specialty grain in a recipe and not the other, or why would I, you know, if I put too much, let's say if I put too much chocolate malt in a beer, what is that going to do? Because but this is a really simple process. You know, if you're new to all grain, I would suggest doing the same thing because, you know, you can throw a recipe together and it may turn out, but there's things like you look at a Main Brew guy. He posted his Black Betty recipe, and it's, you know, fractions. It's not just straight up 1 pound or how many ounces, or, you know, you look at the hops. It's not a full ounce every single hop addition, you know. So you get to the point where you're actually tweaking your recipes and you have fractions of grains and fractions of hops. And right now it's easy for me because it's like I don't know any better, so I just a full pound or half pound of this, or, you know, full ounce or whatever of hops, because, you know, I don't want to waste the rest of it. So yeah, so I mean, so this is all good stuff for I think a new all-grainer and for a person that wants to build their own recipes. So anybody, like I said, anybody that wants to venture out and try their own recipes, I would recommend doing this. So let's see, what did I do? As far as brewing, I brewed a Caribou Slobber Brown Ale. I took the recipe from Northern Brewer, got all the grains. Bobby Meyer posted a video of a sample, like a 1 gallon batch of the Caribou Slobber, and she did shoot me some comments about other people she knows that tried it, and it just wasn't what they were hoping. So I started researching brown ales, and I kept the recipe pretty much the same because I already had all the grains for it and everything. I did do a couple tweaks. I ended up using a pound of wheat in my brown ale recipe because after reading, I don't know, I looked at Jamil's book and Designing Great Beers and shit, I don't know, but I researched online and looked on Homebrew Talk and just tried to find recipes wherever I could. They all had similar grains. The one that I saw in a lot of them, and I think it was in Jamil's book too, and some of the award-winning ones, they had wheat in it. So I said, what the hell, you know? I like wheat, so I threw some in there. So I threw that in, and then there was supposed to be a Liberty hop edition, and after researching too, I saw that a lot of guys were putting in Cascade. So it just so happens I had a package from BH Brewing with an ounce of Cascade hops, fresh Cascade hops, that I still hadn't used because I was going to use it in an IPA, and I just haven't brewed the IPA yet. So BH Brewing, your hops are now in my brown ale. But I guess I'm not going to talk too much about the brown ale because I'll post a separate video about that when it's all bottled. So I'm doing my second runnings, and I pretty much got to my boil volume, and I was still at a 0.025 for my gravity. I said, you know what, let's do a kitchen sink beer. Because I got enough shit sitting in my freezer that I could do it. Alright, so this is after getting my second runnings on my brown ale. I was still at a 1.025, so I decided to run off a little extra until I get down to
like 1 or 2 bricks. And then I'll add some DME and stuff and try to make a small batch beer. Added 1 ounce of Columbus hops at 60 minutes. My 15-minute hop addition was 1 ounce of Liberty hops. And my final and aroma hop addition will be my 1 ounce of Cascade.
The electric brewery, making progress, but it's kind of doing little pieces at a time. I'll quick show you my heating elements. I got those all put together. Good stuff.
All right, just a quick look. I got my elements built. I might order a different one yet because I got this straight one, but we'll see if it works. But I got my elements all ready to go. Just need to put the caps in, and I got the hole punched in my HLT. Pretty exciting. Got my power cable all ready to go. Wort plate chiller. Got to get that all put together. I got to get my water filter put on the side, and then I'm going to put a little catch tray from a washer dryer underneath it. I got to mount my pump yet, and then I got my scale, which is the same one I think hockey players got, but that's for my grains. I can do a full batch of grains on that thing.
You know, last video you saw that I'm trying to get organized and everything, and trying to get my HLT all tapped and hooked up and ready to go. And then I just gotta punch a hole, 1 inch and a quarter hole in my boil kettle, which I'm holding off because it scares me. You know, I didn't spend the money on a Boilermaker, but it's, you know, a nice kettle that I spent some money on, and so it makes me a little nervous punching a big hole in the side. But I need to find a way too that I can plug it up, so in summer if I want to go out in the garage and do a batch on the burner, that I can plug up that hole and still go and do that. Because, you know, in winter it's great, it'll be great brewing down here, but you know, in summer it's part of the fun is getting out and on a nice day and brewing a batch of beer. So I kind of want to be able to do both. So so I'm trying to work on that. Anyways, I'm rambling. It's going to be a one long ass video. If you stick around and watch it, thank you. Hope you enjoy it. So that's all from me for this week. Cheers, everybody. 12 Dogs of Christmas.